So let's start from where we have left from our first training video session. In our first training video, we have created the test VM, which is actually a 4 GB RAM, 2 processor, 80 GB hard disk. And in this session, let's rename our VM. So in order to rename, right click on the test VM and choose rename, and we will rename it as Win2K19 DCO1 because we're gonna promote this server as domain controller in this session. So I'm powering on the VM. So the first thing we will be doing is Alt Control Delete, and it automatically signs me in. So we have to create a new user and change the default password that we have kept, or we can change the password later. So let it open the server manager so that we can see what changes we can do in today's session. So I'll click on the local server, and you see the computer name. Actually, we're going to change it as DCO1. Then computer name, we will choose the same Win2K19 DCO1 and click OK. Yes, we have to restart to make the changes. What we're going to do is restart later, and we're going to turn off the Internet Explorer enhanced security configuration, but for both administrators and for users. So in order to see it off, we just have to refresh. And now IE enhanced security configuration is off, and we just have to restart the server in order to see the computer name updated. And in the bottom, yes, we have to install the tools, so we'll be installing the tools. Or you can either open the file explorer, and you can see over here. So when you just double tap on VMware tools, it starts installing. And you can see in the bottom that the VMware tools is installing. So let's give it some time. In the next, complete, gonna choose complete, click next, install. So in the meantime, when you open command prompt, we can pin the command prompt to our taskbar and see like, oh, it's wrong. Okay, just a second. Let's try again and see what happens. Okay, now it shows. And in the back end, I guess it's done. We can click on finish. Yeah, let's restart it now so that the VMware tools that we installed, the changes will be applied, and also the computer name that we changed should be now changed to Win2K19-DC01. Once we see these changes, let's start installing ADDS and promote the server to the DC01. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do subscribe, share, and give a comment on how you liked it. So press Alt Control Delete, where we have a button on the virtual machine or the VMware workstation which gives that command. Usually if it is not signing in automatically, it will ask you to sign in. So let's just give it a time to load, and let's make it a full screen. So now if I go to the local server, so here we can change to keep the aspect ratio. We can make it as a full screen mode. Now let's see, now it is WinK2K19. That's good. Now let's click on tools and then manage, and then add roles and features. And then so initially if you want to remove, you will be clicking on start the remove roles and features wizard. So you can click next. It's a role based or feature based installation. Click next, and you can see this is the server that we're going to install ADDS. Click next and select Active Directory Domain Services, add features. Click next and then click next, next, and then let's just install. So you can also export the configuration settings, which actually will save it on the desktop and see what it actually shows over here for us. So over here, if you open with, choose another app, we can open it using PowerShell. Let's just open and click edit. Okay, these are the configuration. Oh, just exported the configuration. So close. We can reopen the server manager to see the status. It is still installing. It doesn't take much time usually, so let's give it a 1 minute or 2 minutes to install this. Oh, you can see it's almost installed 60%. So it's good now. The aspect ratio has been adjusted and you can see that it's been installed. You can click close and promote the server to a domain controller, and here we have to choose add a new forest because it's the first DC that we are creating in our environment. So I'm going to choose as ITLI life STYLE. So itlifestyle.com, or let's just see like IT. Anything doesn't matter. So over here, let's choose the forest functional level as 2016, and then we have to give the password for directory services restore mode. Let's try it again. I missed something, I guess. Okay, it's good. Click next, and there is no need to specify DNS delegation options. You can click next, and here it will pick up the NetBIOS domain name. If we have to change, then we can change it, but you can just click next if it is correct. IT lifestyle. So we can see like where the database folder, log files, and sysvolume folders are being saved, and then you can click next, and here you can actually choose view script in order to actually run it as an automated using the PowerShell. This is what I was actually looking for in the previous session. So you can click next, and then here it verifies the prerequisites. Oh, it just looks like there is a verification of prerequisite of for domain controller promotion failed. Okay, so here is something that we have to do. So click cancel at this time. Yes, and then go to the users. Use, so I mean computer management. And now go to local users and groups, users, and then we have administrator. So as I said, we have to set a password, and we are going to set a password for the administrator, and then we have a test account. See, it is also part of administrators. It is also part of administrators. Let's see, we are logged in using administrators. So let's try again our luck with promoting this server to DC. So it's basically you have to give all the information that you gave till now. And the SRM password. Click next. It will pick up the NetBIOS domain name. Once you have it, you can click next, and then it might show you the configuration settings. No, the database folders and log files and sys volume, and then click next. I'm expecting it should verify the prerequisites for domain controller operation without any issue. Yes, you can see the green check mark. All prerequisite checks passed successfully, and we can click install to begin the installation. So let's just give it some time to promote the DC, to promote this server to DC. Once it is done, it will ask us to restart the server. So I'll just pause, and once it's done, we're gonna restart. Well, you can see now that the server was successfully configured as a domain controller, and it is now restarting. It might take 1 or 2 minutes to just load and to give us the new DC up and running. So just give it some time. If it's the first time that you're trying, just be patient with the process. If you have given more RAM, sometimes it applies these changes much faster than you're actually seeing. I'm going to pause, and we can continue once the server is up and running. So it took almost 15 to 20 minutes to apply the user settings. But as you see, the server is now being promoted to domain controller, and here is how we will be able to verify. So let's just wait for it to open the server manager completely, from where we can first verify the settings have been applied or not. So the computer name has been changed. The domain is IT Lifestyle. So the IP address has been assigned by DHCP, but with IPv4 address, we can disable IPv6. Let's just do it right now. Properties, IPv6. Okay, so it's gonna check and make the changes, and from where we can be able to see it. Details. Okay, so it still doesn't show anything, so let's go to the properties and IPv4 and check what's actually the issue. Okay, if you see, the preferred DNS has been changed. So we can use the preferred DNS as 8.8.8. Click OK. Okay. Still, so let's just do completely. Okay, now we got the internet access, so we can go and check actually for the details, like what IP address it has, 192.168.141.130, and the subnet mask with the DNS server. Now the best thing to verify is from the command prompt. So let me open my command prompt. Now you will be able to see when I click. So it is from the domain IT Lifestyle with the username administrator, and when we do set, let me just increase the font. So the logon user will be over here where it shows. So the user domain is itlifestyle.com. User DNS domain, and user domain is IT Lifestyle. This is our computer name or the server name that we have assigned. And to know more about, we can get into this command netdom query query FSMO to check the FSMO roles. So we have our schema master, which is on pin 2K19, the same server, and domain naming master, primary domain controller, and everything is on actually the same server that we have built. So over here, let's check what is our primary domain controller. As you see, it's win2k19 dco1, and our domain controller is again the same. And the next is we will be working on the Windows Defender firewall. And let's open first our AD, which we have installed. Active, you can just type Active Directory, users and groups. And so we have our itlifestyle.com site, and we can create actually one OU which we can name it as Cambridge. And in the Cambridge, we can now create OUs in the way like servers and new OU computers and then new users. I just clicked on user, so I have to click on OU actually, OU and then users. So here this is how we manage just by keeping them separate in an organization, so we know like which computer objects actually um, have again like disabled updates or feature updates and quality updates with different timelines using GPO, and the users with different GPOs being assigned or applied, and similarly the servers can be over here. And as you see, like we have our domain controllers. I usually leave the domain controllers in the domain controllers OU. Other than that, if there are any other servers, we will be moving it to this servers OU. So in the next video, we're gonna work on having the Windows firewall disabled with few outbound and inbound rules changes. And from there, we will be having an additional domain controller and read-only domain controller and a child domain controller. So these four that we have discussed will be discussed in the next three videos. I hope you liked the video and you have learned something new in this video. And one issue that we have faced is when we are installing or when we are promoting this server to DC, we have found that the prerequisites have been failed. It is actually because the admin password, the administrator password has not been set, and it has resulted that the prerequisites of the installing AD or to promote the server to DC has not been um, successful. So in the process, I closed the uh, installation and I went back to the computer management, went to the users and changed the administrator password, and the prerequisites have matched and everything is resolved. Please do share, subscribe and leave a comment